Well, hello. These are the instructions for how I want you to complete assignment 3.4. So what we're going to do on this assignment is I want you to take a look at your personal strengths, and we're going to look at how they can be sources of temptation and take you away from your new calling. Just that your strengths will be probably where you can find your true calling. They can also be sources of temptation for you. So, slide 2, a little lecture to give you some context. Slide 3, if you've forgotten how to get into your Naviance or forgotten what your strengths are, or just want to look at the reports, here's the link, here's the video to show you how to find them again. Now, remember, as you're writing your whole document, remember, I love me some Google Classroom and some Google Docs and some Grammarly. I like to use the voice typing feature, because I can speak faster than I can type, period, and it allows me to think in full sentences, period. So just a reminder, use your tools, right? If it's easier for you to voice type, please do so. So on slide 4, our introduction. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the elements of upward mobility. Then you are going to look at how your strength can tempt you towards that upward mobility, and finally, to draw a conclusion about how you can move down, use them for downward mobility as well. So, your introduction to upward mobility. This comes from the reading in assignment 3.3. But I would really encourage you to not write part 1 first. Start with part 2. So I'm going to do that now. So we're going to pick your parts of Naviance and pick one of your strengths that you think will be the greatest sources of temptation towards upward mobility. And I want you to use, if you want, you should do 3 different temptations towards upward mobility. Notice here I say refer to the elements in the slide 14 on assignment 3.3. So here's assignment 3.3. On slide 14, I want you to pick, I give you the lists of the upward mobility traps that Brackley talks about, and you can find those back in the section. So here's covetousness, status symbols, there's the social ladder, arrogant pride, etc. So I want you to refer to these topics when you are writing your temptation. So if you're like a competitor, how could being a competitor tempt you towards covetousness or the social ladder or towards the pyramid or fear and mistrust? So you would pick 3 of those. So if I'm doing fear, I'm going to do the social pyramid or the ladder, right, and the pyramid. Then, so you will describe them. So if you only want to be, that's all you need to do. Remind me what your strength is again, and then tell me 3 ways that it can be used to tempt you towards upward mobility. Now, if you want the A, I want you to talk about how 3 ways that same strength can help you move towards downward mobility. And you can see here when I talk about downward mobility, I'm talking about the things that I gave you in slide 15 in 3.3. So here's assignment 3.3 again, slide 15. So the things that move you towards downward mobility are faith, recognizing others' humanity, creating communities of equals, indifference to honors, humility as solidarity, and cooperation. And if you're trying to figure out what those mean, again, they are in the back here. So there's humility as solidarity, communities of equals, cooperation, etc. Right? So, if I'm a competitor, indifference to honors can be a way that I'm being called. My competition can help me create community. And what was the third one? Oh, cooperations, sure. And competition can actually be a source of cooperation, because I want to make the best team possible, or the best group, because that will help me succeed. So you'll describe your one of your strengths, how that thing. So if it was going to be competition, how can that competition lead you towards upward mobility, or to the standard of Satan, if you want to use Ignatius's words. So for me, it would be creating fear, climbing the social ladder, working on that, playing a part in that pyramid. Or if I'm going to use it towards downward mobility, or the call of Jesus, it would be my competition with an indifference to honors, competition that creates community, and competition that fosters cooperation. Then I want you to think, is your strength give you more of a pull towards upward or to downward mobility? For me, the competition is definitely more of a pull towards upward mobility. I have to fight that desire and that strength of wanting to win all the time. So I would say my competition upward mobility. Now that I've figured out what I'm going to use, fear, the ladder, and the pyramid, now you can come back to part 1, and I want you to write up, to describe what are the elements of the upward mobility that can tempt people, how the upward mobility tempts people, and then I want to talk about the elements I'm going to use. So I would describe what Brackley means by fear, the social ladder, and the pyramid. So I would write 3 sentences here, one for the pyramid, one for the social ladder. So one for the social ladder. Right, I have another sentence for the pyramid. Sorry if I'm spelling it wrong. Come on. There it is, pyramid. And what was the third one? Oh, fear. So I would have at least 3 sentences there. So this is weird. I would do part 2 first, then come back and do part 1. Then finally in part 3, how I want you to go back and just name the ways that your strength can lead you towards upward mobility, or can tempt me towards upward mobility, and 2 of the ways I can be moved towards downward mobility. So I'll say, right, my strengths tempt me towards fear, the ladder, and the pyramid. But I think a better way to think about it is that it causes me, I can also use it if I'm indifferent to honors and just care about the results and not who gets credit. And I think that wanting to win helps me create communities and can actually be a source of cooperation. Right? I would explain that here. And that is it. That's all I'm looking for from this assignment. So good luck. I hope everything works out. And please come talk to me if I can be of any assistance.